forming photographs alone. Newfound wanderings, smiles come upon, tying strings to rain clouds, carving room for love forgone. Footprints disappear below. Sun and gravity, less than what we know. Time was waiting for us to find ourselves and lose control. Never want to let this go. Into the cold. Not afraid to fall if this is something real. Not afraid to find our way whenever what we feel might roam. Time can only make this glow. This firestone. Waking up inside a dream. Future memories in the in-between. Nothing left to hold back. Your radiance is next to me. We can set the seasons free and let them be. Not afraid to fall if this is something real. Not afraid to find our way whenever what we feel might roam. Time can only make this glow. This firestone.
Astern, look the weather in the lee. Blow high, blow low, and so sail we. I see a wreck to windward and a lofty ship to lee, a sailing down along the coast of High Barbary. And hail her, oh captain, he called o'er the side. Blow high, blow low, and so sail we. Oh, are you a pirate or a man of war? He cried, a sailing down along the coast of High Barbary. Oh, are you a pirate or a man of war? Cried we. Blow high, blow low, and so sailed we. Oh no, I'm not a pirate, but a man of war, cried he, a sailing down along the coast of High Barbary. For broadside, they fought all on the main. Blow high, blow low, and so sailed we, until at last the frigate shot the pirates' mast away, a sailing down along the coast of High Barbary. With cutlass and gun, oh, we fought for hours three. Blow high, blow
Daisies blooming, sundress swaying in the breeze. I can't stop staring. You've put a spell on me, and I hope that you never decide to set me free. The way you're moving, it's got me moving my own feet. The greatest feeling that I could ever dare to dream.
Hello, hello.
Is you forever moving next to me.
Hello. It's been a day. Hello, guys. Sorry I'm late. I got a terrible case of hiccups, and I have been working non-stop all day. We've got to bribe the cat 1 second. Hello, everyone. We've got to bribe the cat, otherwise we'll never get any peace and quiet here. Oh, honestly, I've had them for about 5 hours now and I cannot shake them. I've tried drinking water backwards and all those crazy ideas. That's it, no more. The free-to-play starts tomorrow. I was gonna do a video today in like kind of an intro, but it's been so crazy trying to like set up the whole tournament and set a whole thing up and all the challenges that I haven't had a chance to actually record anything. So, oh, it's horrible. So how's everyone doing? How has the grind gone? I am currently grinding the champion training tournament. I was able to do actually about 3,700 points just on leveling like rank 4s to 14. I had so many rank 4s. So, oh, I apologize for all the hiccups you're going to hear tonight. But we had like literally shed loads of them. Look at all these level 4s I've done, all these rank 4s. Got a few that we need to get through today, so we'll see how that goes. Oh. Hey, Cordell. Yeah, I'm waiting till the dungeon divers tomorrow before I do any of the ice golem tournament. So we've got a few of these we can basically use a level 1 to get up to the top. I did the train. You've completed the training already. Wow. What am I drinking? I'm trying to drink tea. I'm seeing if that's going to help. I've tried water. I've tried everything else. So we're on tea now. Any idea if we're going to get the free energy from Reddit? I don't know. I've done it myself. I don't know if we're going to get it. I was actually suspicious as to whether or not it was a real one or whether someone had made a joke and tried to get some data information out of us. You sent me a DM. What am I looking at? Oh, good lord. Oh, so it is coming. Okay. Yeah, if anyone doesn't know, there was a Reddit, I don't know whether you can call it a thread or... It's basically a questionnaire that was on Reddit, and you got 500 free energy. Hey, Smurf Blue. I do level the food. I just don't do the level 3s. I do 4 and 5 above. I don't do level 3s. It's just too much effort for me. I'm lazy. I think it was only active as long as the poll was open. So if the poll is closed, you can't. Hey, Samuel. Now, I haven't forgotten about the Discord, but because we've got this free-to-play challenge going on, I haven't had a chance to actually sort it out with Fictions, who I need to sort it out with, because there's a few permissions issues. So I haven't forgotten about it. I just haven't had a chance to sort it out, because I'm still trying to make sure everything's ready for tomorrow. I didn't rig the free-to-play tournament. I want everyone to know, on public, I didn't rig it. Somehow I've managed to walk away with the best options. But I didn't do it on purpose. Not at all. Now, if I pull like an ally protector early this weekend, because it's times 2 ancient, and I'm optimistic, then we are in for a interesting ride. It's actually interesting starting a free-to-play right now, because it's 2 times ancient, you get about like 10 early on. And often you tend to pull your first few ancients just to get a bit of food going. So I'm still disappointed I couldn't get a Vergis. That would have made it even easier. I've got Necmo short, by the way. I've got Necmo. You get like 10 ancient shards from just playing the early game, like some of the objectives, some of the weekly like some of the one-time challenges and different things. You pick up a fair number of ancient shards early on. Like 10. I'm not talking loads. Just enough. Wait, you don't get 2 times Sacred on the first day, do you? Yeah, this is Nightmare Campaign. I am going to... Oh, sorry. I am going to stream the free-to-play. I'll be doing videos on it as well. Murderink did a recent video on a suspicion that purchase certain packs could provide you with better odds or certain... No. Total nonsense, Anthony. Just total nonsense. I would never... If they were doing that... That's like lawsuit territory. If they're selling packs that give you weighted odds for specific champions and not telling you about it, it's lawsuit territory. So I would imagine that's just completely false. It's really dumb, isn't it, Fred? I don't know why they would offer that. Maybe it'll run alongside, I don't know. I hope not. Yeah, so Anthony, we don't see any packs within the code whatsoever. That's all done server side. But I guarantee you, if they were selling a pack which gave you a better chance of getting a different champion and it wasn't advertised as such, there would be lawsuit territory. So I was 100% sure it wouldn't be that. I'm like, that's just a tinfoil hat theory. 100% not true. You know, that's along the lines of Murder Inc. saying that if you pull all of your souls and hold them in your inventory, then you can't pull it again. It's just not accurate to be making those kind of statements without checking first. So... Oh, that's rough going then, if it's not going to be on at the same time. So... Well, what I meant, Taha, is basically... The static data on the client side has no information about the packs that they offer. All of that is delivered on the client side. Even like the promotional banners and stuff now is all client side. They used to have some of the older banners, like the Valentine's Day banners from back in 2019 and stuff, or 2020. They're still in the game client, but all the newer stuff, all the newer like the different like Soulstone pack like backgrounds, they're not even in the local client anymore. My biggest problem when people make statements like, like Murdering does, where he goes sometimes and says, this is true. It's like, well, it's not. And now because you have a following, everyone believes you, and then the rest of us have to spend the next like 24 hours dealing with the fact that everyone's telling us, oh, but this guy said it's true. And it's like, yeah, but it's not. Where are we at? Where are we at to then? We're getting there. We're grinding. I dislike champion trainings, but, you know, we've got to do the monthly quest anyway. We're about like 300 out of 500, so might as well get that done. Oh, these damn hiccups. Honestly, they've been brutal all day. Now, I did do all the way down. I even picked up the player in points. Just because. Oh, which reminds me. I need to screenshot the Titan points for today. What have we got? So I'm basically keeping a track of all of the Titan events so we can see how many you basically need to get. So we can kind of do a bit of a calculation at the end. And what else have we got? We've got the champion training. We've got the ice golem. I did try to win the tag team arena tournament, but when you guys see what I've been up against, you'll realize that it's almost impossible. Right, those taking a picture of. Cool. Yes or no, did I rig the wheel to get Deacon and Kale? I can confirm I didn't even touch the wheel. Fiction built the wheel. I didn't even get involved. Hey Sheldon, how you doing? Chaos Blade in the house. Oh, if anyone's got a cure for hiccups, that would be great. They've increased the clan gold costs. No. It's still 180. What do you want about? Still the same. I didn't pay anyone to rig the wheel. Look at my tag team. And I've been doing tag team. I've basically done like 3 refills a day. So, hold my breath as long as I can. I've tried that. It's not worked. I did. I put him in Toxic Geek Bait, and it was okay. He can do 20 quite comfortably. He's not very fast, but he can do it quite comfortably. Pulling the tongue. Yeah, 15,000 points here, 11,000 points, 10,000 points, and then me on 6870, and I've done all that I can pretty much. We gotta fight our way back at promotion now. Oh, we got some energy there. That's cool. We're trying a new defense. I'm not really sure whether it makes any sense, to be honest. I mean, it's not winning an awful lot, but it's only been attacked like twice in the last 2 hours. We won 2 there. That's not so bad. 1 million. I do if I need it, Mr. Inman, but I tend to hold on in case I like need it. I'm not buying it on refill because it's quite expensive. Hey, Tony. How's it going? It's been pretty bad lately though, because I've been deliberately like tanking down the gold one so that I can get more gold to farming. So that hasn't helped. Right, I'm gonna hold my breath for 30 seconds and see how that goes. Why does yours say 225? I mean, mine clearly says 180, right? It's not clan level, is it? But, you know, it's not... Darky's not making this up. Look, this is the image he's... Are we on the right display? That's the image he's got. But you got like 500,000 as well, so it doesn't even make any sense. Does it scale? Doesn't seem to scale. You've got 90 for 200,000. So it's scaling. It's changing, is it? Interesting. What level is your clan, Darky? What level's your clan? Piers. What's your level of your clan? 18? Well, we're 17, so maybe it's going to scale up. No, we're not far away. I've got to do undead hordes 10 times. That's going to be fun. It just says 180 when I click on the item pool. So it must scale on level then, I guess. That's a quiet little stealth move, isn't it? Right, what are we doing then? We got two Messiah. Needs to get some leveling. We've got... We 60'd Rhonda today, so that's something we're doing. We'll throw him in. We'll do some of these levels, quickly get some points. No, it looks like it scales, Darky. I didn't even know about that. Totally knew that. On the good, I suppose on the good side is, yes, it costs you more clan gold, but you're getting more silver. Now you're getting what, like 500 for 225, right? So you're getting what? How much per coin? So you're getting about 2222 silver per coin, whereas mine is 180 by 40,000 or 400,000. Yeah, so it's on the same ratio, Darky. The scaling is perfectly fine, but you're just basically going to have to spend more clan gold to get the silver, which I suppose is fine as long as you're buying the same amount of silver per clan gold. So, you know. It must... It must scale on clan level. Just need to send a message. 1 second. Got some cool things coming for tomorrow with the optimizer sign up. Right, message sent. Sorry about that. Hey Andrew, how's it going? You're sitting at 197 ancients, don't even want to try and pull anymore. I was tempted not even to pull for the time to my main. Like, it's a champion chase, right? So we can get it from other places. Yeah, I'll show you the Fortis build now. You actually don't need an awful lot for it. I've got it overkill. The only thing that's annoying with Fortis is obviously his fears are RNG and everything, so if he doesn't activate his hidden skill, it can be a bit slower than normal, but you can get him to go anywhere as fast as 13 seconds or even up to like 40 seconds, like now. Obviously our champions here have got some like additional speed on them. But this is the Nightmare build he's running. So he's in Savage. 4.7k defense, 273% crit damage, about 196 speed. Not fully maxed out. You could go less, to be honest. You don't need to be as crazy as that. The Savage is quite helpful just to get you through. He's running in like Helm Smasher, so... But the idea is you just want him to A2 into his hidden, A2 into his hidden, and A2 into his hidden. That's the idea, like this. We just have high ranking food, which is why it's taking longer. But you can see he quite clearly clears the wave. Do you think Playroom would ever integrate RSL help into their client? Probably not. It's too much effort for them. Look how much effort the farm stuff goes to on a daily basis just to maintain it. It's too much effort for them. It is pretty fancy food, right? We got new champions. 2 Messiah I need to basically build out ready for Hydra Nightmare. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this like this week, but she's kind of like a champion that I think probably is best to go into Hydra Nightmare for me. Yeah, he is booked. Now, it worked as well fine if he's not booked, by the way, Piers. You don't need to book him. It just helps on the cooldown. Yeah, I used to use Herndeg, but he wasn't 100%. So I started using Fortis because it might take a little longer every now and then, but it's 100%, so... I do farm Nightmare, yeah. There's a bunch of level 3s that are kind of in limbo, so let's just get there. These guys are a bit in limbo. You know, I pulled Timisia when it was times 10 Yumiko. And I wasn't happy about it. So I was like, I want the Yumiko. The Timisia is good, but it's not crazy. The Teams tab, Blaze, I think it works off like AI stuff. It's a bit funky. So we're working on a brand new system that's going to be much better for it. Because the Teams it's just basically the last team you used. It was always... It's almost like a stopgap for the solution for what we want to do, just until we could find time to do what we want to do. So you use Baron. I don't know if my Baron can do it. How's your Baron built, Sheldon? I'm pretty sure if I use Baron, it'll fail. Right, let me show you. Because the problem with Baron is his AI is bad. So if I do it on auto, that's cool. Then he comes over here and then he does his A2. It's not using his A1. Can't kill with the A1, and now we're in trouble. So this is why, yeah, you have to set the AI, which is why I don't like using him, basically, because... I don't want it set AI, whereas Fortis I don't have to. With Fortis I can just let it run. But he is a good shout. Ethos is obviously probably the best one still. I know Winston Wolf's Ethos does it in like 10 seconds. Something crazy like that. Baron can do Nightmare, it's probably just he's got a fail rate. Yeah, I think so. I don't have Ray. Can Skullcrown do it? No. So Herndid can do it because he's got the decreased defense. People like Ray can do it. As people have mentioned, Stultus, double AoE, can do it pretty well. And he's also defense-based. Fortis, for me, I just find that it's pretty consistent. Like, Herndid was doing it consistently, but he had a small chance of it to fail. The nice thing you get with Fortis is if things do go extremely bad, he's got his passive. So he's got like an emergency kind of backup, and you normally have enough turns before you need it again. But I've managed to get it to like a 13-second farm. If you can get it into like 30 seconds consistently, it's a pretty good farm. Biggin can do it because Biggin's got a stun. I haven't even used my Nishak. He's sitting in my my bathhouse vault at the moment. Might as well use some chickens while we're here. Ragash can do it. Any openings in my clan? Which clan are we talking about? Are we talking about my main clan? Or are we talking about the free-to-play clan? Because the free-to-play clan, I'm not even in charge of that. That's way too much stress. So I'm part of a cluster. So it depends on where you are at in progression. If you are looking to do clan versus clan, we have a bunch of different clans to do that. We do have some casual clans as well. If anyone is curious and wants to join, let me get you the link. It's a link to our Discord, our clan cluster Discord. You can jump in, you can find out the rules in terms of how it works, how we operate the clan. I'm a deputy in it, but there's loads of different leaders that manage a lot of the recruitment side of things. I don't have the time, unfortunately. But yeah, so head over to if you want to join a new clan cluster. We are recruiting at the moment, but we also we are recruiting for like the higher tier clan more than anything else. So if you're a casual player, there's probably space, but we're mainly looking for high-end CVCers. Yeah, don't worry too much about the rules. It sounds more complicated than it actually is. Yeah, if you're doing Nightmare, Hydra, Endgame, if you're doing lots of CVC, we have like 3 different CVC clans depending on different requirements. So we have like a 180, 250 and a 400,000 point requirement clan. What are my thoughts on Arian the Conjurer for Arena? She's actually pretty good if you don't need the decreased defense. The problem is her revive with her different people is just a bit clunky. And the other problem you've got at the moment is polymorph. So like removing buffs, placing debuffs, stealing buffs is all pretty bad at the moment in Arena. So that's why Ceres has dropped out of the meta completely, because removing debuffs now is just impossible. But she's pretty good in a bomb team specifically. Right, what else? I think there was more level 3s that we needed. Like deal with. Does polymorph go through SS? No. Does it? It could do, actually. I've not actually tested it. I'm not super knowledgeable about it. It could do, because polymorph essentially changes the variation of the champion. But I could be wrong. Works polymorph over immunity set? That's not a question, that's a statement, Shattered Lord. What's the question there? See, everyone's saying Fortis has no use, and I was like, I found a use for my Fortis. It may have cost me 80 Void Shards, but it was worth it. Yeah, it works on immunity, but Stone Skin is a different type of buff, isn't it? Hey, Ivory, how's it going? I'm not doing too bad. If I can get rid of the hiccups, we'll be doing great. If she has immunity, does polymorph work? I think so. Yeah, I think so. I use Fortis because he is pretty much safe and guaranteed to do it. He never fails. Whereas my Herndig had about a 5% fail rate. Yeah, well, I mean, Jorgen is like nuts. The dude like one-shots everything. I mean, Fortis, people like say he's not very good. He's very good if you lack some other options. Like if you don't have a Seer team for High Doom Tower, he's actually really solid because eventually he's going to do so much damage. I used him in Spider the other day to do that silly kill 1,000 Spiderlings because I just used him constantly because he's got that passive to like keep himself alive. So he's actually not a terrible one. Yeah, I do Nightmare campaign farming because it's quicker. Time is my biggest currency in my life these days, and it's just quicker for me to do it on Nightmare. I don't really need the green shards, so... Aileel is awful. Aileel was a bait. I actually have an Aileel soul, which is really... like, it was like, do I just get rid of the soul? So... Hey, Swiftka, how's it going? Oh... Another 3 are leveled. So, this is the joy of early game fusion. The thing is, I need to get a lot of this done, like, this side of today, because tomorrow is going to be hectic. We're going to have to, because we're obviously making the new free-to-play, and that is going to be a busy day. Will you be streaming the free-to-play tomorrow? I was thinking about doing another stream tomorrow. Like, maybe I'll do, like, an hour stream before Hellhades does his stream. Something like that. That could be cool. So you can see how quickly I've progressed in my totally not rigged free-to-play account. Yeah, Ailil's like A1 buff removal is okay. So if you want to remove buffs, he's actually pretty good. The biggest problem is normally you don't want to remove buffs because obviously that procs polymorph. So that's often the main problem. You kind of don't want to do stuff. If Ailil ignored the same things as Jorgid did, and if Ailil also removed block debuffs, or his A2 had the thing where it says those debuffs can't be blocked, then he's actually really, really good. Because at least, although his multipliers kind of are rubbish, at least everything works. But the problem is, you've got really poor multipliers paired with mechanics that are easy to counter. Either he gets polymorphed or someone has blocked debuffs. So actually half of his kit doesn't work. And also you can only steal those buffs once, which is another problem. So, speaking of free-to-play, can you have 2 accounts on a mobile device? I don't think you can, Tony. Yeah, I did get really lucky with my start. How long do you think we have until the new Faction Wars comes out? Oh, months, Smashy. Probably like 4 months. Easy. It was like 6 months before Shadow King came out, so... And that had Ninja, so, you know, that was a pretty big pull. Yeah, exactly, Citizen. If he actually ignored things like he doesn't even ignore shields or something, is one of the effects from Necra he doesn't ignore. Whereas Jorgid literally ignores everything. Everything that Jorgid has, he ignores it all. Which makes him really potent. Tell me, Saf, is the duration in team suggestions means best time or average time? I think it's average. I'm pretty sure it's average. I don't think it's like the lowest. I think it's average time of the runs for that particular team. Yeah, the thing with Jorgid, I think, is if you've got a Baron, you actually probably don't use Jorgid that often. Because Baron is just consistently going to do it better. I don't know, Patrick. I'll see how it goes. Type is a bit of a problem. And also you've got Ice Golem. One thing I would note about like the current schedule. Let's put it up actually. Let's pull up the schedule. So, a few new updates, guys. On the website, we've now got a free-to-play page. And the other thing we've got is the Fusion Guide. I was building this page today. So, we've got a Fusion. We've got the free-to-play page. You should be able to click on here. See, this will be like the intro. And then... basically, if people are doing videos, I'll have a free-to-play series. I know Earbad has got a free-to-play series as well. So the video should be loading there. I know Fiction is going to be doing some videos. Lockers is going to be doing some videos and stuff. So if they're videos, they'll be put out there. Deadwood probably. YST for sure. Odd One. You can follow them. You can click on their social links. You can go subscribe to their YouTube. Anything where they are active, you'll be able to see. You can also see what they're starting with. Obviously, there's a hell of a lot of Chanurus. I don't really know why we've got so many Chanurus, but we do. And then we're going to have trackers here and community trackers. We'll be building that next. That's the next thing to build. So hopefully that'll be coming sometime next week. And then we've got some instructions on how you can sign up and an FAQ here on, you know, various questions you've been asking. The sign up page should be going live tomorrow. I'm building at the moment. Hence why I was late today by an hour. But you should just be able to sign up with your Optimizer account and your specific raid account. So yeah, keep a track of this. It's going to hopefully be like the focal point of the entire event. But we've also got a section in the Discord, if you haven't seen it, in the free-to-play section, where you can, you know, talk it. There's a town hall where you can talk about everything. You can post your success stories in one of the, I think it's the Tales of Victory. And any announcements we have will go in there as well. So... that's the raid page, and then also we've got the fragment guide going on here, so you'll be able to see all the skills. You can go check out the actual guide. There should be a button here. Do I have to go? Oh boy, I have to go smack Never because he hasn't put a button on here that says Pythian is really good. I'll get him to put a button on here. But we've got an initial guide on Pythian as well. Let's go have a look at that. There you go. So that's Pythian's ratings. 5 out of 5. Insane champion. So you can see we've got this guide here. We'll probably update it as we go along. We're pretty sure this revive doesn't happen unless you have dead allies, which is really important. We've got some masteries, some recommended blessings, some guides. This will be updated, I suppose, as we go along, as always. But you can keep track of the fusion, the schedule here. We'll update this every single day. But what I wanted to do was look at this image. You can basically see that we actually don't get a day off. Maybe we get a day off between like Tuesday and Wednesday. But it's pretty much going to be, today we're doing champion training. Tomorrow it'll be ice golem and champion chase. Then the day after it's arena and artifact. Then the day after that is fire night. And then there's like a 2-day break. And then we're back into it again. I might skip this champion training, I'll be honest. I might skip that. Because we can skip like 15. I think. I might just skip this champion training altogether. This champion training one. Because it's time that I don't have. Because this will be like peak time for the free to play. And doing things like Summon Rush for me is reasonably like accessible. Because I've saved all my shards. But yeah, so the schedule is going to be quite busy this weekend. Which is not ideal considering I've got to start a new account. But yeah, you can follow along here. We'll have some video updates and stuff. So yeah. How many shards do I have? I will show you. That's my shard position. Yeah, he's not 5 out of 5 in Clan Boss Duchy because technically he doesn't bring any sort of like primary debuffs or ally protection or poison or damage. So he's kind of in there as a protector more than anything else. So he does it well, but he's not necessarily the best. That's why he lost the star there. I think I have a garbage computer. Sometimes measure will can do it. I think Chaos, we've added some things behind the scenes to basically make this new free-to-play tournament possible, or the challenge. So it's having a bit of performance issues at the moment, but we're going to be looking into it in the next couple of days to try and figure out why and try and stop it from happening. But it should be okay. Just give it 5 minutes and then you'll be able to hopefully upload again. It's just having a bit of a hiccup at the moment. Nowhere near as bad as it was the other day. Let's put it like that. It's just we added a new system and it's processing. But the big thing for me is this. I've got basically 500, 1,000, 1,500, 1,750, 2,000 points here tomorrow. If I wanted to just basically not summon a single shard, I've got 2,000 points tomorrow. That's probably enough. Or pretty close. Any chance the optimizer will be able to handle multiple copies? No, Fred. But it's something we talk... Like I did a poll in Discord about it the other day. To just get an idea of how many people actually multi-account. So, you know, we're moving more and more closer to probably needing some sort of multi-account system in the optimizer. How that looks and what it does, we don't know yet. And I couldn't tell you how high a priority it is. But we're moving that way. But yeah, like 2,500, 2,750. This 2,000 points will get me close enough. I may not need to pull that many, basically. I could do a 10 pull, potentially, if I want to pull all these. So, this is the advantage of having a lot of Doom Tower champions. Like, 3 of these are Doom Tower, and 2 of them were, like, one of them's Daily Log, and one of them's a Fusion. It is kind of sad, though, now that I've... You know, I finished the secret rooms. I don't get anything else. You know, the rewards we get out of here now are just terrible. I don't think I'll ever do any more secret rooms on normal because there's just no point. What do you think of the chance of this fusion? There's no way our fusion accounts can do, like, a brand new account can't do a fusion tomorrow. It's just not possible, not without spending. yeah, I don't know whether we'll be able to have it like you can run multiple accounts with the extractor open at the same time, but we might be able to have it so that you can like switch between different accounts in the optimizer rather than it being like literally a straight replace dump. At the moment, it basically overrides your data and then it overrides it back. Will you go for any of the fusion events just for resources? My only focus for the free-to-play tomorrow and for the first week will be getting Kale to 60. My only focus. I don't care about Ice Golem. I don't care about anything else. I barely will do any other challenges. My goal is get to pretty much as high up the campaign as I can and focus on just 60 in Kale. And hopefully I pull an Ally Protector. Because my goal is to get as high up Ultra Nightmare as I possibly can. Even if I have to 4-key Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss, I will 4-key Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss if I can. Even if I can't get anything but the top chest. Like, the top 2 chests. I'll do that. Like, if we think about Clan Boss, I need 70 million, right? So all I need to do is make sure one of my keys each day hits at least 17.5 million to get the top chest. But if I don't get the top chest, this is just better. Like this Celestial chest is better than this. I'm pretty sure. Oh, it's not. I wonder if that's the case. You can get Sacred Shards out of here and Legendary Books out of Ultimate. Wow. I didn't realize the second chest of Nightmare was Ultra Nightmare was so bad. Like, obviously I want the Transcendent. I didn't realize that I thought it was basically that was the top. But apparently not. So, but yeah, my goal is basically try to 4-key Transcendent. And if I've got a good Ally Protector and I've got a good Defender, I'll have Kale Deacon and Ally Protector, right? So I just need a solid decrease attack, which can be, I think, Marked. Marked's a good one, right? Where is she? Decrease attack? Oh, your decreased defense. Who's the decreased attack champion I'm thinking of that's rare? I can't remember now. Is it you? No. Which one of it? One of them does it. I can't remember which one it is now. Coffin Smasher is a good one. Absolutely, yeah. Coffin Smasher is a great option. Where is he? Is he a barb? No, is he undead? There he is. Great option. You also get HP burn. So, great option, right? So all I really need... So my focus is basically... We're going to start with Kale, right? So Kale is great as a poisoner. I don't need to worry about transition to be a DPS champion. Why? Because in about a month's time... Where is it? 2nd of February, I'll be getting a free Gembo. Big brains. Gembo will become my arena nuker. Long term. Hey, Flatley. Do I need 2 accounts for my new free-to-play in the optimizer, or do I just use the same? You can use the same login, Ruz. You just need to make sure when you want to sign up, when the page is going to happen tomorrow, you need to make sure you've uploaded your free-to-play account before you sign up. We'll do a video, though, to explain. It is free-to-play, Geek. I haven't spent any money. I checked with Hellhades, and he said Prime Gaming rewards were acceptable. So because of that, I was like, cool, I'll use this. Apparently, I asked the question. I didn't make the decision. It's not me. I didn't make it. No more rigged claims. This is not my decision. I asked the question, are Prime Gaming rewards allowed or denied? And it was allowed. But I'm not spending any money for this. I have Prime for other stuff. So, I'm not bending the rules. You guys don't create any conspiracies. To be fair, though, like, it's very difficult to find someone in sort of our mindset. Like, I pretty much buy everything off Amazon, so I have Prime. So, no gear and transfers. So, here's my thinking. I'm going to use Kale as my campaign farmer. Until such a point I find someone better, and then I'll transition him off to Clan Boss. Gembo will come in as my arena nuker in a month's time. Perfect timing. I'll get Hydra and I can build an arena team in a month's time. We'll have Deacon, which will be kept at 50 for a while. I got a Masters in MM0. Actually, I'll show you guys something in a second now. It's quite funny. There's true big pops. It's not that I endorse the company, but when you are 3 days before Christmas and you have absolutely no idea what you need to buy anyone, Amazon is a godsend. So as much as we can dislike Jeff Bezos and all his crazy, wacky ideas, the company he's built is a pretty convenient service. So I get all my cat food from it. I get like cat litter from it. Like, it's much easier. I don't have to go and buy it, and it's cheaper. So, you know. But, so that's the plan. We're going to have Deacon. Deacon obviously is nuts to have. It's a bit of a cheat code. I'll probably keep Deacon at 50 until I have enough food to get into 60. But he probably will go into my Clan Boss long term. So... Gembo's awesome. I still use him as a main nuker. Do you think it's better? Makes sense to switch Candy. Candy on defense is better than Gembo, because obviously he's got that built-in passive and stuff. But on offense, Gembo is probably just as good if you're going first. Actually, you'd be surprised. Kanoiki is good, but not as good as I thought because of this. The problem you've got with Kanoiki is it's a nightmare to speed tune. Oh, stupid. I need to restart the game. It's lagging. The problem with Kanoiki is... she does this fill turn meter by 50%. Makes it really hard to speed tune, believe it or not. But she is pretty strong, to be fair. If you do Deacon and Kale in decent gear to 5-star, you can do 2-man with level in 3 days. Yeah, exactly. I can probably just go there. And like, I don't know whether I'll be using Rhonda at all, I'll be honest. I might use Rhonda to deal with Ultimate Death Knight, but I don't know if I'll use her at all. So the focus will be get Kale to 60. Then we want to try and find a decrease attack champion, right? So, I mean, if we're looking at different options here for what we want. Like, obviously, if I had a choice, I would have started with either Vergis or Tyrell for an ally protector or decrease attack. Kunoiki. Or is it Kunoichi? Sorry, it's because I'm Welsh. Right, okay, so Welsh, when we see things, we see it as how we say it. Technically, my first language is Welsh, even though I haven't spoken it for many years. So I basically say it how I see it. Where it's probably Kunoichi. Why, in Welsh, I say it Kunoiki. Because it's how it looks, so... yeah, I mean, Madman, I'll probably use Rhonda to deal with Ultimate Death Knight in the arena in lower levels. But once you get past a certain point, I can just AoE nuke him. And I'll probably pick up like Gembo becomes a Void Affinity nuker, which means he deals with it much easier. So... So if we're looking at like rare decrease attack champions, because that's what we got to look at. We got to look at rare decrease attack champions. We obviously need Bog Walkers 1. Ideally, we kind of want... we probably want, like, the greater version, right? We want 50%. We don't want 25%. There's actually not that many. So we got a Bog Walker, a Coffin Smasher, a Gladiator, a Veteran, a Dagger, a Runic Warden, and a Paragon. So, obviously, we can basically eliminate the Voids because we haven't got any Void Shards. So really, Coffin Smasher, Bog Walker, or the Runic Warden. I'm thinking that's Warden. Or Warder. And I'm pretty sure none of them are farmable. I don't think any of them are farmable in any of these stages. He's a hard scale. That's a Skull Crown, not one of those. Nope. Rocktooth, not what we want. Elves, obviously we'll pick up an Eris at some point. Templar. Berserker, none of these are... Oh, Muckstalker, not the one we want. Flinger. Yeah, so there's no, like, farmable decrease attack champion. I had a 6-star Rocktooth Soul as well. I solved it. But obviously we'll get a few Ancient Shards early on, right? Because we'll get them from just doing missions and stuff, right? So we'll pick up a few Ancient Shards along the way. So that'll help. If we get a chance to do it on a ×2 Ancients, I will. Otherwise, I'll hold them. Hey, Jess. After a show, eh? Fancy. So, I think, like, Earbad had it right, pretty much, right? So, I could sit here and say I've got the biggest brain strategies in the world, but ultimately, if Fiction does pull his Siffy, then he's going to have a lot easier time than I. Simple as. What legendary would I like to get first? I'd love an Ally Protector legendary. That Corrigar Death Bell would be awesome if that was on offer. Because the goal and accessibility to Ultra Nightmare is pretty much Ally Protection in the early game. You know, if I pick up a Demitha, great. If I get a Helicath, great. But normally that requires a Seeker as well. Whereas as long as I've got an Ally Protector, I can build a team. But yeah, I mean, this dude, where is he? Like, this dude would be insane to get. With his little bell. Just because this passive is going to carry my team. He's got heal, he's got ally protection, he's got a turn meter fill, he's got a cleanse. Like, this would carry my account so far. If I got him. No, what I meant by that is for most of the decent teams, this person's from DK, you need Seeker to enable the 2-1 often. It's very difficult if you have to try and do it with someone like Deacon or someone else. It means it's much more trickier. Saf, plans for sharing the very start of the account stream and I'll make a YouTube video? Yeah, I'll probably either make a YouTube video or stream it. If I'm creating the account, I'll probably make a YouTube, but I might stream some of it tomorrow night. I might make a video just because I don't want to wait like all day. I want to get started. I'm going to need to spend the time on it. So but yeah, that's my plan. Get Kale to 60, get Deacon to 50. Gembo will come in a month's time. That's my nuker. We can farm a War Maiden if we need. We'll have HK. We'll get War Maiden. Rhonda's an option as well. I don't know if I'll do it bang on 10:01, but I'll be doing it pretty close to. I need to grind more of this, if I'm being honest. I need to have got this done today, really. But I'm trying not to burn, like, resources I don't have at the same time. Yeah, exactly. If I was to stream tomorrow, I'd probably do it around about, like, 6 o'clock. So it leads into Hellhades stream. I can't raid into him from YouTube, but that's probably what I'd do. Yeah, I'm taking the free-to-play challenge seriously. Not because I want to beat everyone, because I think it's if I don't take it seriously, I won't do it. And that's the problem. I've been saying I want to start a new account for months now. I made a new account, never played it. So if I don't take it seriously, I think I won't be able to commit to it, which is why I'm taking it seriously. I've never used that thread, so I have no idea how it's going to work. What I'll probably do is just hook up my main account to my my iPad to do stuff. I tend to find, though, I can do like the daily reset overnight in like an hour now, so it's not too bad. It'll just be doing things like grinding the Ice Golem tournament tomorrow. That'll be a pain. Someone did actually message me saying I should give my rolled odds to Lady H. And I was like, well, I could. I actually didn't mind if I started with Elhain or Aethel. That was probably a worse one. And I didn't mind if I started with Mordecai instead of Deacon. But if I'm going to pull the best odds, I might as well use them. Yeah, so basically my personality is akin to an addict, but without the... Like, I don't have the urge that I can't stop. But when I start something, I can't, like, do it. I have to go all in, if that makes sense. So I'm not really an addict in the sense that I can't stop. It's more if I commit to something, I have to do it all. I can't do it. I'm not like a half and half kind of person. I'll either stop or I'll do it all. So it's a problem, actually, from a developer's perspective, because often Wolfie will say to me, why don't you just, like, stop at that point? You don't need to do all this. Just stop here. Don't do that. And I'm like, yeah, but it's just one extra thing. And then, like, 5 hours later, I've built something twice the size of I even planned to do. No, I literally could stop, right? So I was spending a bit too much money recently. And I haven't spent a penny so far in January. So if I want to stop, I can stop. So I'm not that far as an addict. My problem is, if I'm into something, I can't accept. Like, I have a personality that I have to go to the nth degree. You know, I used to play... did anyone used to play the old Wii Farm and Wii City type city builders that were popular about 5 to 6 years ago, maybe even 10 years ago? Used to be like, get a game and you build your city and do different things. I think they were like Facebook style like games, right? Wii Farm, Wii City. So I actually built, I kid you not, probably like a 30 tab spreadsheet on Wii City, basically finding the most efficient way to get resources for every single thing and what was the most efficient thing to do. The maths, the spreadsheet. Like, I actually made myself about 20 gigabytes of free Dropbox storage by inviting people to Dropbox with this document. It's great. But that's like the mentality for me. I either have to go to the nth degree and build it all the way down to like its bare bones and go to the, you know, 0.0.000, or I don't do it at all. And that's why I'm kind of committed here, because if I have in my head that I'm not really taking it seriously, then I will stop playing it. And I'll get distracted. Hey, Hirshen. It's funny how we're talking free to play and I'm just like, yeah, feeding all these champions here. Like, all of those champions would be really useful for a free-to-play. Apart from Hoarding, maybe. Might as well use some brews while we've got it. Get rid of that. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you can see that kind of personality where I get drawn into something. Someone will say to me, ask me a random question, and then I'll be there for like half an hour trying to find the actual specific answer and explanation to everything. And they're like, I just wanted to know what the basic was. I just wanted to know the TLDR. I didn't need you to go into like War and Peace. For your free-to-play account, friendly contest, will you pull shards as you get them or stockpile? I will be stockpiling. The actual biggest challenge for me that I think this is going to have is for the last basically year and a half, I've had a mentality that I can just do whatever I want whenever I want. I've got gems I can burn. Like now, I can burn all these brews. I got all these chickens. I basically have no limitations to my account. What I have to learn is I can't just pull another 10 ancients. I can't just burn another 120 gems. Because you can't. Because I don't have those resources on a free-to-play. Because I can't replace them. I can't just spend money to get them back. So that's going to be the biggest challenge, is actually training my brain to realize, should I use it? Do I use that refill? Do I redo those masteries? Do I grind? Like, I can't just burn things. Which is actually going to be the hard part, but the fun part about the challenge. If you pull a Paragon early, will you get the cheese up in the dungeon just to get it? I don't think so, no, Ruz. I'm not wasting energy. If I can spend energy to do things better, it's not worth me climbing the rankings early on. It's a marathon, not a sprint, right? Hi there, have you seen the Bellinor, Allure, Kaimat Seer, Ruella under 1 minute speed farm? I haven't, but I don't have the Kaimat to tell you. But I'm not surprised, because I think Ruella is potentially really good. My account options would go so crazy if I had a Kaimat. It's crazy. Answer this then, what is the purpose of life? Oh, Smashy, you really want me to get into my philosophy masters? I wrote my entire dissertation on the nihilism of life. It's deep. But on a TLDR, what is the purpose of life? The purpose of life is to exist. That's the only thing that I can come up with. I can't tell you why we exist or why we should exist. All I can tell you is the purpose of life is to exist. And we do everything in our power to remain in existence. Which is why I save questions for stream, so I often don't feel like I'm pulling you away. Yeah, it's fine, to be honest. Stream's a good chat away, to be honest. I enjoy it. Right, we can burn some of these 5 stars. I've been sitting on all of these 4-star foods for like a month, waiting for a training that was worth doing. Yeah, silver would be my issue as well. Tag you in the HS Discord general chat with the more in-depth instructions. Feel free to share if others need. Cool. Thanks, Fred. I did blag it a little bit, cool. But actually, I got a merit for my masters. I'll have you know. It's one below the top level. Not bad for someone who kind of didn't know what he was doing half the time. I don't know, Kessel. It depends on whether we actually have active. But if I can get access to an extra ancient, then obviously I'll pull it right now. Because otherwise I'm holding it for another 6 weeks. So my shard availability is going to be basically split between the 6-week windows. Because I'm not going to pull in a ×10 unless I really have to. And I'm going to have to make real big decisions about fusions. I'm not going to go for fusions which are okay. I'm going to have to go for fusions which are really good. So, because I don't have, in the early day, unless I can get Ultra Nightmare going really quickly, I don't have access to shards. once I get Ultra Nightmare going, then I can be much more flexible because I can get shards pretty quickly. Did I say anything about the Discord? Yes, Jessica. I said I haven't forgotten about it, but because I was trying to set up all this free-to-play stuff, I haven't had a chance to sit down with Fiction to fix it because it's like a permissions thing I need to sort out. So it's on the thing. Hopefully I can sort it out tomorrow if I get time, which I hopefully should. You read philosophy every evening before bed. Have you read a lot of Nietzsche, Elliot? I'm a fan of Nietzsche. Nietzsche is the way I describe Nietzsche is he is the philosopher version of what's the one in psychology? The crazy dude in psychology, Freud. Nietzsche is basically the philosophical version of Freud in my eyes. He's a little bit weird, but generally he's right. I know, right? Cool. I'm gonna have so much space. Although I've done pretty good not to fill my artifact inventory back up. It's pretty good at the moment. Do we know what the summon event will be dropping tomorrow? It's times 2 ancients bosses. Just a standard times 2 ancient. We have got a clan that's already unlocked it, Ox. So our main clan, Fiction, created a new clan and basically used his Ultra Nightmare clan boss team to unlock all the stages. But to be honest, we're not going to be hitting it for the first week or two anyway, because until I have 660s, I don't think I can hit it that hard. The other factor we haven't really talked about, really, is blessings. You know, obviously access to soul stones will be limited early game, but blessings could have quite a massive difference in my ability to perform in Ultra Nightmare. Probably more so than War Master, potentially, because if we can get Phantom Touch on people, that's freed up. Like, that's extra free damage I wouldn't normally have in last year's free-to-play. So, will I be putting much effort into the Arbiter missions? Yes, I will, Shadow. I don't know if I'll go back on myself, but I will do them if the rewards are good, right? Because you do get a lot of decent stuff out of those missions. You wrote your final exams about whether humans have the freedom of decision or if it's predestined by fate. That's a classic question, isn't it? Yeah, it's more theology. Predetermination is more theology. But it does come into philosophy, right? You get a lot of ethical questions around predetermination and the rights of individuals in philosophy. It leans more into moral ethics than it does into other things. But the thing with philosophy is a lot of anthropologists become philosophers. A lot of people who go into psychology either came from philosophy or go to philosophy. There's a lot of crossover. You get moral ethics. You get you obviously have like a whole branch of philosophy about the interpretation of artwork and whether art is a certain type. You get like so many different things. Like philosophy is such a wide topic. You couldn't like. It's easy to see how things in psychology, in sociology, in different things cross over, right? We need 5-star. What is my campaign farmer? My campaign farmer is Fortus. Yeah, Nietzsche's topics mainly covered around... So Nietzsche's main focus was pretty much on his belief that humanity was on a path of sort of self-annihilism. He basically said that the Christian faith was anti-life in European medieval times, right? Because what his basic philosophical trend was, this is what I did the topic of the essay on, humans as a entity has to will into something, otherwise they start down a path of nihilistic tendencies, right? So we'd rather believe in something that we can't actually say is true than not believe in anything at all, because if we believe in nothing, then we start question everything, and then we go down a path of nihilism where we start getting into anarchy, destruction, death, things fall apart because we have nothing to believe towards. So even though Christianity solved the issue of nihilism in the sense that it provided a meaning to life, he believed that in the end it became a form of nihilism in itself, because effectively you denied yourself of everything that was of this earthly plane, right? Pretty much Catholicism in the medieval times is all about preparing your body for the next life. And he was basically saying you're denying yourself things in this life for a future reality that you don't even know exists. So it's a very interesting, deep topic that he has. And a lot of philosophers have argued whether or not Nietzsche was consistent with his position on that, because at the start of his writings, he was very much like Christianity was the answer to nihilism. And then all of a sudden, Christianity is a bad thing for humanity. So it's an interesting topic. I don't know what the level is Soulstone Forge. I think it's like level 37, is it, Kessel? They actually changed the code, by the way, guys. The clan boss doesn't unlock for me until level 17 now. It used to be level 0, but now you actually can't do clan boss until level 17. So, obviously you get it pretty quick. You get there pretty quickly on day 1, but it's just a thing. Yeah, everyone should be able to get the Kale at some point, right? Welcome, Karem. We were just talking about philosophy. Generally, though, I do side a lot with Nietzsche's beliefs, right? It does make logical sense. His opinion was you should basically, if you want to find meaning in life, you should move yourself towards things that give you happiness in the earthly realm. It's more of a paganistic style belief than anything else, right? He basically believed, you know, if you wanted to go get drunk because it gave you happiness, then that's morally potentially a problem. But in terms of should you deny yourself that, is that unethical? No, because it's giving you happiness, right? If that's what brings you joy in life, you should go to what gives you earthly happiness. That's his basic premise. So, yeah, you should be able to. Like, yeah, I'm not saying that clan boss is not accessible. What I'm saying is they did change it in the game code actually to move the level up. So, technically, I won't be able to do it to level 17. Well then, Shadow, you've done your training. Nice. Yeah, so the good thing about Champion Chase with times 2 Ancient, Chase is actually really good for times 2 Ancients because you're more likely to get epics. Epics are 250 points. So if you think on average, right, if we look at the average numbers here, you'll be getting 16%. So if you pull 10, on average, it should be 1 every 10. If you pull 50, 250 times 5, you're going to get 1250 points at the worst averages. That's not counting the rares at the same time, which you get some points for. So 50 Ancients, as long as you pick up 5 or 6 epics, gets you really close. So it's actually really good for, just like it's bad when you have a summon rush without times 2 sacreds. You notice how there's never a times 2 sacred with a summon rush. It's always a chase because that's pretty bad. Whereas times 2 sacred with a summon rush should be really, really optimal. In this case, chase plus times 2 ancients is really, really good. Who do you think is going to be the first person to drop from this competition? Tricky, that one. I think it's going to be either... So, obviously Lady H has never played Raid, right? So she might just not enjoy it. And if she doesn't enjoy it, then we're not going to force her to play it. That's just cruel. Maybe, you know, somewhere Hellhades has got a mean streak going on. Hey, look, we pulled a starter champion. That's always possible as well. I could pull a rare from a mystery shard tomorrow. So if she doesn't enjoy it, then, you know, we're not going to force her to play it. That's just cruel. But I also know Deadwood is very busy. So he might find that he just can't keep up with 2 accounts and everything else going on. I know that Never will surprise everyone because he has a habit of speedrunning things. You blink and he's already halfway ahead of you. And I don't even know how he does it. But he does. He's a genius for these things. But yeah, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be an interesting challenge. Like, the concept all this came from was I dropped a message to Hellhades and I was like, you know, you're going to do a new free-to-play account. I've been meaning to start an account. Shall I create an account with you so that it's not boring for you? Because with the greatest will in the world, he's done 3 free-to-plays now. And not an awful lot changes between them. So I thought, oh, well, if I'm with him, we can make a little mini contest. It can be a bit more... it could be a bit like... It changes the context for him. And it means it's a little bit more in it. It's less boring, right? But it's grown into this, like, mammoth thing. I did an analogy earlier on Discord where I basically said me and Hellhades have the same mentality. We start off wanting to grow a little sapling. We think the sapling's cool, and then lots of other saplings come along, and all of a sudden now we're building a rainforest, but actually we're kind of in the monsoon and we're trying to figure out how to do it in time. So we always end up then producing pretty good, like, things. That's where the optimizer comes from, right? Where all these other tools come from. But it just means that we kind of... It becomes bigger than what we ever planned it to be. So, you know... But that's why I suggested it to him, because I was like, you know, I'm just trying to make it a bit more interesting for you. I've got 70 ancients and 3 broadmaster fuse. You are good to go, Ashley. The other thing to remember, guys, is you don't need shards if you've got other champions coming in, right? Check your daily login. Do you have a new daily login champion coming over the weekend? Check your Doom Tower fragments. Do you have new Doom Tower fragment champions coming in? Do you have previously saved summons? They can add up. Would it be a safe bet to use my 50 shards and finish the champion challenge with mystery, then use my voice and summons on the summer rush? I think so, Wraith. I'm don't quote me on this, but I'm almost certain that the fragments on Summon Rush will be split like 5-15. So you'll have one reward at 5 and one reward at 15. They're not going to do 20 together. They never normally do that. So I think you probably can get like 5 fragments and skip the 15 on the Summon Rush. You don't have to do it. Where I think the chase is more likely to be 5, 10 or 15 in one. Is he a weeping angel? Maybe he is. Honestly, Never is a crazy speed farmer. You just, like, we were playing New World, and I thought I was playing quite a lot of hours. I've got like clocked 100 hours on it. I turn around, he's like, oh yeah, I've got like 4 weapons maxed. I've got this, I'm doing this, and we were in this war, and I'm like, I'm not even level 60 yet. What the hell? Am I starting live at 10 a.m.? I don't know if I'll go live. We'll see, Ben. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe I'll do the stream at 10 a.m. Hopefully I won't have hiccups then. They are going slowly. Yeah, see, Xavier Woods there has got it all sorted out. He's got those champions ready to go. I actually don't use mine. I don't use my fragments on CVC. I tend to save them. Yeah, I think Artist is right. I think it'll be 5-15 split. I don't want to say it for sure, but I think it will be. Pythian's brother, Skirax? Didn't even know that, Sammy. I haven't even had 5 minutes to myself to actually read anything. Yeah, it never works for us. He's part of the team. Most of the articles that you see go out on the website are either written by Never or by Lockers. Or they've edited them. Obviously, we have Ivy Lee writing some content, and I think on the Diablo Immortal side, we had Cold Brew and stuff. But in terms of like the coordination, most of the time, if there's articles going out on hellhades.com, either Jack, Lockers, or Never, Lucas has had a hand in it. Sometimes I'll come along and do some special guides or something, but generally they're in charge of all the content. I don't know, Ben. I don't know if I'll be live. Keep an eye out on Twitter. If you haven't followed me on Twitter, it's where I kind of let everyone know what the plan is. It depends on how late I have to work, because after I finish up on stream here, I need to go back and finish coding. So if I've got a lot more to do there, I might not be in a good state, but we'll see. Is that what they did? Cool. I'm struggling to remember what the other one looked like. Let's have a quick look, actually. So If anyone isn't aware, if you ever want to go back and look at previous fusions, we track them on the website. So you can come back here. You can go in here and you can look at all of the different fusions, right? So if we want to have a look at, say, that one, let's pick out a couple of them. Walking Noob Dragon. Let's have a look. Did we actually take a picture of the actual event, or did we just get the points? Let's have a look. Day 7. So, champion training tournament was 9,000 points for that one. I don't think we actually take a picture of the actual training event. We should probably do that, I wonder. I don't know why we've got the cross out there. Not sure what's going on there. I'll just go message that speed farmer that we've got. Yeah, it doesn't... I don't think we have it. So, like, I can't really compare what the previous training events were. So you're saying, cool, they removed it. No, so tournaments are all delivered on the server side, right? That's why RSL Helper can see some things early, because once it's coded, once they've added it to the pool, there's like a server request that's in the client. It's not actually static data. When I look at data mining, I just look at the fixed data, right? I look at what is this champion stats? What are their skill text? What are their skill multipliers? These are fixed point of time information that exists in the client. Things like event data, CVC data, tournament structures, models, points, rewards, even like what you get out of clan boss chests. I can tell you what's in a chest. I can tell you the odds of getting it, but I don't actually see how it rolls. That's all done server side for obvious reasons. Yeah, I got a Twitter. I should probably put it on my view here. But if you head over to Twitter... Oh, I'm on the incognito. There, hang on. Oh, Kevin, I haven't looked at the results. So you can come follow me at H8 Saphira. Tell you what you can do, actually. You can head over to this new fancy old... Oh, that is. This new fancy old page over here. And you can follow me on there. There you go. That's why we've built this page. You can follow everyone, right? You can subscribe to the channel there, or you can come follow me on Twitter. If I will be streaming, I will be tweeting about it. It's the easiest way for me to tell people what is going on. Come on then, Kevin. What was the result for Chelsea? Do I have to have a look? Who were they playing? Oh, you sent off. Are you kidding me? We've just got the player and he gets himself sent off. Wow. Was it bad, was it? Oh, Chelsea. Was he actually any good, though, before he got sent off? We basically, for somehow reason under the sun, managed to convince João Felix to leave Atletico Madrid to come play for Chelsea for 6 months. Because we haven't got a person we haven't actually got a member who's fit and can score a goal. Just before I carry on talking, Elliot Parker, thanks for becoming a minion. Welcome. Welcome to the minion crew. Those perks that you see on screen will be coming very soon. So we basically paid 9.6 million. To be honest, it was a clever deal. I wasn't negative against the deal because we haven't got a striker really. Aubameyang was Tuchel's purchase and then they sacked Tuchel. Don't really know why they did that. They keep buying young players that are not ready. And Broja's done his ACL in, so he's not going to be playing for another 8 months. And we haven't got a striker that can score goals because Havertz just, I don't know what he does. So they bought, and they basically have got Nkunku. And Nkunku's coming in summer, right? Pretty great striker. but they needed a solution in the middle because Pulisic is now out for months. So they went and paid 9.6 million for Joao Felix. Great idea. Okay, he's on a lot of salary, but hey, you know, you pay him for 6 months and he goes back. So they paid him. He started today and he's got himself sent off in 58 minutes. But was he good though? Potter needs to go. Sorry, they should never have sacked... I don't know why they sacked Tuchel. I don't understand it. Hey, look. Got 100 gems. Nice. Actually repaid all the gems I used. Well, I suppose at least he was good for 58 minutes before he got himself sent off, and now we don't have a use for him for another 3 more games. So, oh, what an idiot. Yeah, but the problem is if it looks bad, Oxlade, they're not going to overturn a straight red 3-match ban, and that's huge. I mean, Chelsea's running right now is not good. They need a result. I mean, they've got, in the next few months, Crystal Palace next, then Liverpool, and then we've got Fulham again. I mean, Chelsea's form at the moment is relegation form. I don't know how much more... You know, I can understand that there's been lots of injuries. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying he's a miracle worker, but at the same time, as a Chelsea fan, we're used to seeing patterns of play. There's no patterns of play in this team. It's literally like Championship Manager. Oh, you know, he's good, stick him in there. Oh, we've got Fofana. Okay, cool. He's like 20. Carney Chukwani, or whatever his name is, I can never say his surname. Looks pretty good. But they're all like, they're buying, they've spent nearly £500 million. And the team is no better than before they started spending £500 million. It's worse. Because, like, there's no goal threat. There's no patterns of offensive play. There's no midfield. Why no option to buy Felix? The rumour is that this is Diego Simeone's last season. Atletico Madrid will replace him, so he just needs to get away from Diego Simeone because they hate each other. That's the rumour. And for Chelsea, they don't need to buy him because they've got Nkunku, right? I mean, the starting 11 for Chelsea's injured players is absolutely insane. It's basically probably a top 10 team that's injured. Fundamentally, the problem that Chelsea have is they haven't replaced Conte to start with. They haven't bought a midfielder that is of Fabregas's quality in 6 years. They put all their eggs in the James Chilwell basket and they never fit. And then they've basically tried to find a number 9 and it's cursed. Ever since Diego Costa left, we've not had a number 9 that can actually be a consistent goal threat, like a Haaland or that nature. And they're talking about renewing Kante. I don't know. I have no idea why. The guy, his body's gone. He's a great player. He's a legend of the club. But, I mean, his body's gone. He's the type of football he plays was a time limit on his ability to play football because of the way he plays, right? It's just not... There's nothing wrong with that. Why am I grinding it so hard, Italian? Because I'm starting a free-to-play account tomorrow and I won't have time to play. So tomorrow I'm going to have to do all ice golem. So I'm grinding it hard today because I don't have time to play it as much as I normally would. Zakaria was looking good. But is he injured now, is he? Oh, for the love of God. They need to hire a new fitness team. Honestly, crazy. But yeah, I mean, Chelsea's squad is just falling apart. What I don't understand is why they got rid of Tuchel. It's not really fair what they did to him. They basically forced him to be a director of football he never wanted to be, because they forced everyone out of the club. And then they basically sacked him because he wasn't on board with the way that the club was going. I'm like, yeah, but the manager's a manager of a team. Like, Potter can't even manage this team. He doesn't know what he's doing because it's not his players, it's not his team. He's not managed at this higher level. You can see that the team is falling apart because there is no direction. Basically, by now he'd have been gone under Roman Abramovich. He'd have been gone. They would have brought in a stopgap to get him to the end of the year, and it worked. You know, people obviously will call out Roman Abramovich for spending a lot of money. He never spent the level of money that this ownership has spent and didn't get a payout. You know, like, he spent 200 million some seasons, but he got a payout. He got a result out of them. I'm taking him to 40, Stico. We're doing Nightmare Woodsman. Yeah, I agree. We've got a lot of good young players. My concern at the moment is those young players are coming through the academy with fitness issues. Like, James can't put a run of games together anymore. Chilwell has been injured all the time. Okay, we bought Chilwell, but still. Mount is okay, but he's lost a lot of his presence as the team has suffered. He's very dependent on the team to be performant. If the team is performing, he performs really well. If the team doesn't, he doesn't perform very well. Havertz doesn't look like he's developing at all. Werner couldn't hack it in the Premier League. You know, they spent loads of money on Lukaku, and look what happened to him. They bought a player that wasn't fit for the system. It's just concerning. It's funny, Neva, who is in the free-to-play challenge, he's a big Man United fan. And we were talking about it at the start of the season. And I basically said at the start of the season, I thought Man United were in a better position coming into this season than Chelsea were. Even though they had all those problems around, like, you know, they were losing players, they had a new manager coming in, they'd finished outside the top four, all these different problems. I felt they were able to start fresh because a lot of the problems, like Matic, like Mata, like some of their long-term contracts, they were leaving. So they could build a new squad. Obviously, the Ronaldo thing, they should have sold him at the end of last year as well. They shouldn't have kept Ronaldo on, which caused a problem. But I thought Man United were in a better position. You can see that now. The squad's leaner. Probably a little bit too lean. They probably need a striker or two, and they probably need to clear a few defenders out. But they can play Bruno Fernandes in his better position now. They haven't even got Sancho fit. Rashford looks like he's back to his best form now under this new system. They've got a coach who has an identity. And if the player doesn't fit the identity, he's pretty stubborn and he won't let them play, which is good. That's the identity you had with Thomas Tuchel. He wants to play his way of football, and if the player can't fit that system, the player's out. Whereas I think at Chelsea now, it's almost like you've got this player, find a way. Yeah, so Liverpool's problem, Elliot, is their midfield. They've bought loads of strikers, but they forgot to buy the midfield, similar to Chelsea. You know, they're relying on Thiago, who has been injury prone in his career. Henderson's getting older. Fabinho is 30 odd. And you've got Oxlade-Chamberlain, who's never really been able to keep a position in the team since he had his knees done in. And you've got Naby Keita hasn't really taken that threshold. You've got Harvey Elliott, but he's a different type of midfielder. So they haven't really replaced they haven't really found an alternative to Thiago. And when Thiago doesn't play, they lose a lot of their creative spark. That's the problem with Liverpool. The people are moving through the Liverpool midfield a lot easier these days than they used to be able to in the past. How do I feel about Man City? I actually think Man City is one of the best run football clubs in the world because they don't spend the money anymore. They buy good players. I mean, Julian Alvarez, they bought him for like 20 million. Sure, they splashed out on Haaland, but who wouldn't? But you think they're pretty sensible with the way they spend their money these days. And their academy is starting to develop talent. Rico Lewis looks great. Looks like a real world-class player. It could actually be that Rico Lewis becomes the New England right back at the rate the fitness is going in between Alexander-Arnold's defensive issues. Yeah, but you don't... It cost him a lot more than that, Oxlane. About 40-50 million went to his father and his agent. I would imagine there's like bonuses on top of that. And his contract is really high. Because the thing is, he paid 51 million because it was a release clause. But the total amount of transfer for Haaland is probably going to be in the region of 200 million easily. But the thing about everyone harps on about City spent all the money and everything. Yes, they did, but they invested it in infrastructure. They invested it in their academy. They invested it in their development pool. They invested it in a proper footballing management system. You can see the value of that now in Arsenal, right? Arsenal bought in Edu as a director of football. They cleared out the waste. They built an identity around Arteta. They stuck by him. And that identity now is producing the results. And I think Arsenal could well win the league this year. Because they are committed to their strategy. And I feel like Chelsea at the moment are just like, we need a defender, go buy a defender. We need a striker, go buy a striker. We need to score goals, go find someone who can score goals. There's no like strategy. Which you'd understand after a traumatic cycle of the sanctions and stuff. But I'd rather not spend the money and then be in a mid-table than have spent £500 million in basically less than 6 months and still be at position 10. Anyway, that's football. Let's get back to Raid before we get too distracted on football. Yeah, Etihad's facilities, like their training facilities, are world class. You can see why they attract players, because it's not just about the money, it's about the facility, it's the methodology, it's Pep Guardiola, it's the philosophy as much as it is anything else. It's been the main criticism of Man United, actually, that whilst their competitors have invested in their facilities, I mean, even look at Tottenham. Tottenham are the best stadium in England. They have probably one of the best training facilities in the world. They're not win the league, but they invested in the infrastructure around the club. That'll attract players. Players will come because of the stature of the club, not because necessarily the legacy or what you get paid. Is it perhaps worthwhile recording them and tracking them? I think so, cool. I'm going to speak to... I'll speak to the team tomorrow about it. About whether or not they think it's a good idea. Because I think actually having the ability to go back and look at screenshots is very useful. We've got to be careful, obviously, with images. We don't want to overload the page a bit. We don't want to make it so... we don't want to make the article so big that you can't, see anything because you have to go through. But we can make it collapsible or make it interesting in that fashion. Yeah, Max, exactly. Arsenal had a debt they had to pay off. They had to be sensible, so they built a new stadium, which they needed to do, and they had to pay that stadium off. And then once they've paid that off, they've moved back into trying to buy players. But what I'm saying is, before they bought Edu in, they were buying very silly players like Pepe for like 80 million. They let Giroud go and a bunch of different things, and you're sitting there thinking, what are they doing? But ever since they bought in Arteta with Edu, they have this philosophy. They want to invest in young players and build a high-pressing football game around like Pep Guardiola style. And you can see the value now. They got Saka, who's like, 21? Martinelli's like 20. They got Odegaard as their captain, like 24. The team is so young, and they're already competing for the Premier League. The potential of the team is huge now. Like, they sent Saliba off to the French League last year, and he's brought back, and he looks like he's a Premier League quality player. He's only 20. Is there any benefit to locking champions? Where are we talking locking champions, Webbs? In the game or in the optimizer? That's true, Chaos. I don't. I'm not a big football statistician. Like there's too many. It's too many football stats for me. But I do follow a lot of it, and obviously I'm a Chelsea fan, so I get to watch them painfully try to score a goal. Why aren't you waiting for the dungeon divers to triple dip? Because I just want to finish the champion training, Kiao. And I'll do all the dungeon divers probably in Fire Knight and Ice Golem. In the game. Yeah, there is value locking in the game, just in case you make a mistake. I've accidentally solved something once. You shouldn't unlock champions you know you want to keep. Always lock the champions you want to keep. Oh, right. Yeah, to be honest, it's one of those things, I suppose, like, as I was saying about the free-to-play, right? My mentality has to shift from being I can just get whatever I want to I have to track these things, right? I have to go on the earbad mentality now of the decisions I make needs to be very efficient. So before, I was probably not tracking any events because I'll be like, whatever, it's easy, I'll just do it. Or I won't do it, right? It didn't really bother me. That's why sometimes I've seen people like say to me, you don't value legendary books that high. Because to me, I just get legendary books, right? And then I get a legendary, I book the legendary. I don't really have a need to like go, I need that legendary book, or I'm struggling for legendary books, right? If I look at how many legendary books I have right now, let's just do one more of these, get the 25. But I'm pretty sure I'm sitting on a large amount of legendary books. Because I missed the last CVC because I woke up too late. So I managed to skip a CVC window. There we go. I have 25 legendary books. I never struggle for books, so in my head, I don't value legendary books as high as free-to-play players, but free-to-play players will always tell me the most valuable thing in anything for them is legendary books because it's the hardest thing they can get hold of. So that's the interesting thing that I'm going to find from this, is how quickly does my head shuffle over to the free-to-play mentality of, you know, looking at this event and going, God, that legendary book is so valuable to me. You know, do I lose the value in coins? At the moment, for me on my main account, if there's an Immortal Soul coin, I'll burn resources to get it. Whereas on my free-to-play account, I'm going to have to go, that's not worth burning for, but the legendary book might be. I'm running Crush and Rend on my Seer because I got a 6-star. Do you think we should skip the Summon Rush and go for the Champion Chase? Or go to the Summon Rush as there's a ×2 on at the same time? I think, Aiden, there is no point. If I'm being honest, there is 0 point you saving Ancient Shards unless you're saving for a Guaranteed. And Guaranteeds only benefit people like me who have so many champions, right? So I'm thinking like a Guaranteed could be Corrigar. Where is he? I always forget he's an Ogren, right? They could make Corrigar a new Guaranteed champion. You want that kind of champion. If you want enough shards that you can just pull the Guaranteed if it comes, then you want to save 150. Otherwise, if you have a broad range of champions you require, there's no better time to pull Ancients than ×2. So if you've got a Champion Chase where you get Fusion Fragment points on a ×2 Ancient, I would pull my Ancients then. It's the best point to pull them. Because I know, looking at the Summon Rush that's going to be coming, that the chances are it's going to be a 5 and 15. I can probably pull a few Sacreds, get my 5 fragments, and peace out. I don't have to do all of that. And it could be that the Summon Rush falls on a ×10 or a ×2 that I don't have an awful lot of shards for. I don't want to be burning shards in a Sacred, in a Summon Rush for an event that's not active. That's what I would say. Yeah, Chaos. I thought the event ended at 10 a.m. UK time, but it ended at 9 a.m. UK time. So I woke up to pull my books the last... We have a strategy where we have a window for some players that basically use all their burst points, like books and stuff, for the last hour or so we can win the event. And I thought it was at 10 a.m. and it was at 9 a.m. and I messed up. I was getting over an illness, so my head was all over the place. I hope that's not going to be the case, Pocket, right? I hope all the free-to-play... when I'm doing the free-to-play, the tournaments aren't going to be just full of those Titan event points. So... Yeah, see, Geek, that's the thing, right? I've had loads of people say to me at times on videos, you don't put enough value in legendary books. I'm like, but surely you're not if you're free to play, surely you're not pulling that many legendaries. So you should get a surplus from doing Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss. So either you're not doing Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss, which means you're failing, or you're booking champions you don't need. Because I've heard a lot of people say that. You know, Earbad is always sitting on like 100 odd legendary books, and he's like, I don't need more. I do them, but I don't need them because I've got them there. So, whereas obviously on my main account, I'm doing a load of like champions for content, right? So I'll book people like Shemnath. I'll book people like Stolters for content. I'll book people like Snicktrack for content. So it's difficult for me. Like a lot of people in my position would say they've got loads of epic books. I always use my epic books because I've got epic champions to build for content. So, will the summon event tomorrow count fragment champions? Yes, it will. It's a chase. So acquiring champions is how you get points in a chase, not summoning shards. That's the key thing to note. So you get champions from summoning shards, obviously, but you can get them from other sources as well. Yeah, Fred. Basically, I think that's the way it's going to be. You can either skip the chase altogether, or you need to do all the summon rush, or you could do the chase and just get the 5 fragments from summon rush, which I think is the better option. What happened to Hudson Odoi? He's on loan, I think. Hate. Hudson Odoi basically injured his Achilles, was out for a very long time, and then he struggled to get back in, so they sent him out on loan to build some confidence. Whether he comes back at all, I don't know, but that's what they've done. Yeah, see, Chaos, we don't do that. We actually have a plan of when you release your burst points, so there's a strategy. You have a bunch of fragment champions to be summoned on 200 ancients. Do I use or do I... So what I would say, Pocket, is I would pull at least 50 ancients, right? Because if you're holding your ancients for a guaranteed, you probably need 150. And even if it's a little bit more than 150, you can normally find a few ancients here or there. So I'd put at least 50, then see where you are, because summoning champions from your portal is a finite resource, right? I can always get more ancient shards. I'm never going to be able to summon Barsathra ever again. So I like to try and hold on to these as much as I can. So I would pull 50 ancients and see where you are and make a decision then. If you're close enough that, say, pulling Hoscarol will get you to the fragments, pull Hoscarol. If you need more, you might need to pull more shards. So, yeah, there's like a phase, isn't there, George, right? So, in the early game, it's all about like trying to get your first 60s. Then you enter this phase where you've got so many champions you want to 60, but you just don't have the food. Then you get them to 60, then you have so many champions you want to book, but you can't because you haven't got the books. And then you get to the end game where you don't have any champions you want to 60, you don't have anyone you really want to book unless they're really good. And that's like the progression. But Earbad is a very, very min-maxer, right? He will do all the summon. He will do all training events. He will always do a training event if it's a legendary book. So, hey, Jeans, how's it going? But this is why Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss is so important. The 5th reward makes a big difference to the amount of rewards you get. Like, I've basically... if you think, I pulled all of my shards on New Year's. Every single one of them. And within 12 days... I'm back at 7 Sacred Shards, 16 Void Shards, and 30 Ancient Shards. I can go and buy another Sacred Shard if I wanted to. So that will put me at 8 Sacred Shards within 12 days. I haven't bought anything extra. I haven't spent any money on this game since New Year's. I've got a monthly one coming up in 10 days. That'll give me another Sacred. You should be getting around about 10 Sacreds on average a month between doing Doom Tower Hard, between Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss, monthly quests, and the 3v3 Bazaar. That is normally enough to finish every single fusion in this game without spending a penny. But the problem is a lot of people will ignore Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss because there's a mission that says go hit stage 20, or I need to farm this thing, or I need to do this, or I need to do that. If your account is not Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss, nothing matters other than getting to Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss. It is the single best place for rewards in the game. So... Yeah, exactly, Dandabit. If you need to, you can always burn a bit of gems to get yourself over the line with Ancients. I wouldn't even say getting Arbiter is that important anymore. It used to be. But it's not that important anymore. Because speed teams are not the end of the world. There's so many go second options now. I can build teams to actually beat speed teams. It used to be back in the day, you couldn't beat speed teams. But now you've got like Stone Skin, you've got Reaction Gear, you've got great champion kits. You don't need a speed team at all. I haven't done a guide on Hoskell. No, I haven't pulled him yet. I haven't looked at him. He's been sat there. Same with Gnishak. They just sat there. Yeah, don't get me wrong, Dutchy, right? I'm not saying everyone can sit in gold, but to be honest, you know, the population pool is better now. I think if you're in any form of like decent account, you should be trying to get to gold, even if it's gold 1. I do wish they'd get rid of the whole tiering, right? I don't see why I have to be in gold to get these rewards. Just basically gate me on my gold bar acquisition. Don't block me out of the rewards just because I'm not in the right tier for them. You don't need an unkillable comp, necessarily. If you don't have unkillable champions, decrease attack, ally protection, increase defense, decrease defense. Those 4 things will get you to Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss in some form or fashion, as long as you've got the right setup of champions with the right decent gear, right? There's so many different ally protectors now, right? One of the best ally protectors, Kyoku. Taragi, one of the best ally protectors in the game. They recently buffed, what's his face? He's a Bannerlord, right? If you pull a Lugan, one of the best ally protectors in the game because he heals a lot. Got increased defense, right? There's so many ally protectors in this game now that you can do it with an ally protector, decrease attack, decrease defense, a poisoner, and increase defense. If you've got those, you'll get there. You can start, yeah. Like basically, if I started the account free to play with no restrictions, I would start with Vergis as my starter champion. I'd start with Kale and Deacon. I'd basically have pretty much everything apart from a decreased attack to get me to Ultra Nightmare. I can farm Nightmare campaign for speed boots, get myself up to a speed range on a 1-to-1 ratio. I'll do about 20 million a key probably with a decent poisoner. That's enough to get me 4 key Ultra Nightmare Clan boss. That gives me access to shards. Those shards then give me access to more champions, and then I might pull that unkillable champion. So I wonder who will get Arbiter first in the free-to-play race. Probably me. Because my start is going to be so strong. How are we doing then? Got an Ancient Shard to get tomorrow. Legendary Book. I'll probably go for the Legendary Book now I'm this close, but I'm probably not going to do any more of that tonight. We'll just burn a bit more campaign here. Would you think Hoskell will be any good in Hydra with the increased resistance? Probably not, Wrath, because he's a stun focus and you can't stun anything. That's the problem. Yeah, Gold 1 is pretty competitive these days, Sebastian. It's really competitive. I can normally promote back up, but yeah. Yeah, Darky. So there's a Turvol team for, like, there's a speed farm for 1 key Ultra Nightmare Clan boss. I think it's something like Double Demitha, Turvold, and Krisk or something like that, which is basically buff Turvold to 10 buffs and make him annihilate the clan boss. I think it's something like that. I don't recall exactly. Lugan's really good as a protector, Daniela. You shouldn't build him in damage. He's not going to deal any damage. Lugan's job is to protect. Now, he's not the best champion in the world, but he's a 4-turn ally. You basically would disable this in the clan boss. He's a 3-turn ally protection with a self buff, and then he heals for 25% of the damage inflicted, but places a buff on himself. He's a bog standard ally protector. If all you need is to keep yourself alive in clan boss, he will do the job. Is he the best champion in the world? No, absolutely not. He's not the best protector, but he does the job. If you're not doing Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss and you're sitting there going, I've got this Lugan, like I'd be going, we'll build the Lugan and do Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss, basically. Yeah, Taragi is a really good champion. Because you get the thing with Taragi, right? If I pull Taragi, I'm laughing. Oh, hiccups. If I pull Taragi, I'm laughing, right? Because we get decreased attack on an A1. Poisons. Shield. Ally protection. Reflect. Provoke. We don't really care about that. We probably disable that, right? You A1, A3, heals. So what does he? Heals this champion. Heals himself. Amazing clan boss champion, Taragi. Who is the best protector? Honestly, it's either Kyoku, because effectively she eliminates half the damage because of the block damage. But she's tricky to speed to him because of this extra turn. But if you can, you get a decreased attack, a weaken, and a block ally protection with a bit of healing. Or it's going to be that new guy that's coming this last patch, right? What's his name? That's the demon spawn. Probably... Oh, that's orcs. I clicked on Ogrins. This guy. Because this guy is going to give you so much defense. Like, you've got to imagine, right? If you get 4 ally protections out, he gets 40% increased defense, which means he can run at like 2800 and be on the same defense as if he's running at 4200. Like 4200. Or... your allies are going to get like 20% more defense as well. It's like a double Iron Brago passive. Like, he's a very good protector. You don't get much else. You get ally protection and strengthen. But also very solid. Surprisingly, you don't have any turn meter issues. The only downside to him is ally protectors normally go last in a rotation, right? Because you want the ally protection buff to go on first or last. Before you want it to go last in a 1-1 before the champions take a turn, so that the protection buff remains on everyone. Really, you need cleansers to go first, so it kind of like you can't really depend on the cleanse. I am also a massive fan of Vasulf. This dude's amazing. Increased defense on all allies for 3 turns on a 2 turn for 2 turns on a 3 turn cooldown. Ally protection on all allies except himself on a 2 turn for a 3 turn cooldown. We get an AoE leech. Amazing for clan boss and progression. We got an A1 provoke. And a shield. Amazing for Kuldath. Amazing for Hydra. Amazing for progression. We have a passive that has a chance to provoke when he gets attacked. He has got an 33% ally. Like, if I pull this champion, he's in every one of my teams. Great base defense, not so good speed. Great base HP. Gives you everything you need in the early game. The problem Raiders become at the moment is the meta is defined by a few set of champions, and not many champions can compete with those few set of champions. Early and mid game, there's so many champions available to you. Actually, your options are wide. And then in the late game, you start narrowing speed teams to specific champion roles, right? So what you'll find is champions like Vasulf get forgotten about in the late game and end game because he doesn't do anything particularly that perfectly niche strong. You know, he's not an Acrizia, he's not a Theodore, he's not your Cal Phalanxes. He doesn't do anything so good that he's amazing. But for an early to mid game account, he gives you everything you need. Leech for healing, provokes, damage, he's HP based, he's great. Is it possible to make Vasulf the target for the cleansing head? You mean the provoker for the head of decay? Yeah, you could. 50% chance. He's a 50-50. It's just the same as a husk. You give everyone AoE increased defense, ally protection. You get yourself leech as well. Yeah, you could. I use my Vasulf in Kuldath because he's a provoker. I think the thing is, which is where you're coming from, Jeans, once you get to a certain stage, you don't need an ally protector, right? If you get an unkillable clan boss team, the ally protection loses its value quite considerably. If you get someone like a Black Knight or someone with other kit in its utility, you don't need it. And sometimes if you can just out-kill something, then you don't need the protection, which is what happens a lot. You only tend to find like the Sand Devil or the Hydras where you can't just one-shot something, which means that that's where you get stronger. Yeah, Theodore is absolutely bonkers. It's the fact you basically get Weaken here. But where is it? This ability here. You basically get 2 poisons, poison sensitivity, AoE, and you get increased speed on your allies on a 3-turn cooldown. Like, that ability is one of the best in the game. By a mile. You can use him in Clan Boss. You can speed farm. He does this. He never attacks with these 2 abilities, so you can use him in Ice Golem. Monster. So... oh, the hiccups are killing me. I've had them all day. So we got Dungeon Divers tomorrow. More Titan points to be acquired from Ice Golem. I've given up trying to win this tournament here. It's just never going to happen. But I can try and fight for placement, right? Ideally, I don't want to go 3rd. I'd want to stay 4th for the gems. I don't really want these 5-star gears. Totally crap. What is the trigger for Decay Head to attack someone? Lowest current HP, Dutchy. Lowest current HP. Have you've mentally blocked it? I see, as a creator and someone who does videos, I feel like it's my responsibility to put the voice behind it and kind of go, this needs to improve. This needs to be better. It's not good enough. It's not acceptable. And that's the way we'll get change. But I'm trying to do it from a statistical point of view as well, right? I don't want to be that kind of person that just goes, this is terrible constantly, permanently. Let's build some teams here. Let's build the long-forgotten Romantu. Where is he? Oh, I got a 2-star Romantu now. I should probably go and put a blessing on him. Where is she? At some point, I'll finish leveling up my Lysandra. At some point. We want a Cupidus team. Cupidus, Venus. Probably Broggers and Krisky Boy. And then for Team 3, we probably can't outspeed it, but we can probably cleanse it, right? So we're going to cleanse. We're going to go with the Suga. We're going to go... there's no revive, so we don't need to worry about that. We probably just need... a win condition here. What are we going to go with? We'll go Candy. See how that goes. See, professional streamer? No. I don't think I'm a professional content creator. I figured out how to make things switch between the right screen, and we're on the right screen these days. That's got better. Do you have a build breakdown for your Fortis? I pulled when I could use a Nightmare Compound Farmer. Basically, let me just fight this battle so that these things get saved, otherwise it resets. I'll show you the build now, Toby. Pull in Romantu tomorrow. The problem is Romantu's just kind of lost his meta place. I barely use my Romantu. Used to be a problem, Dutchy, that Romantu had too much damage. He hit too hard, so he procced things. Look at that. Double swift parry. But yeah, Romanti lost his place for Polymorph a bit. It doesn't get used an awful lot these days. Okay. Do you know why the bomb meta is so good, guys? This is why the bomb meta is amazing. Amazing bomb meta. Until they make these debuffs the same thing for bombs, bomb meta will never be a thing with Mithrala. She's too strong. She's too counterable. You could use her offensively, but not defensively. It's just not possible. The Rat King is better for debuffs, but be careful you don't over debuff yourself. That's the only thing with the Rat King, is he will over debuff himself. Yeah, the new Void Epic looks really good, right? I want to pull him. He's not like a crazy damage dealer, but he's like a crazy debuffer because his A1 is like probably the best debuff spreading ability in the game. Like, if you're using, a lot of people talk about Harken, right? As a debuff spreader. He's better than Harken because he can spread it 3 times. So, I did roll Deacon and Kale. I didn't. Hellhades rolled it for me. Yeah, bomb meta and attack probably works. So. Right, someone wanted to see my Fortis build. Let me just find a team here. Fortis. So Fortis is built in Savage. And I've just got him at about 4.7k defense, 273% crit damage. He can do it in less stats. He's in standard one-hit masteries, right? Helm Smasher. But he can do it in less. His A2 and A1, he's fully booked. He needs accuracy in his build, though. But you don't need an awful lot for campaign farming. So. I didn't roll anything, Greffen. They rolled it for me. I can't help it if the system gives me the best. Okay? It's funny, I used to, like, I'd say 4 months ago, I would actively avoid hegemons. I actively look for hegemons now. It's a free win for my Cupidus. Do you want to see the power of Fenax? We love the Fenax. We haven't used him in a while. That's the pressure now, Ranger, isn't it? It's a fair point, though. Everyone's saying how like I got amazing luck. I've got to do well now. Because imagine if someone basically said they started with Gaelic and Talia and they beat me, and I started with Deacon and Kale, I'd get laughed out of any room. I won't win another content creator contest ever again. Oh, they're all dead. Rip. Yes, I know, Ben, but I'm too used to it. Right, the question is, can I kill this before the Helicath gets a turn? Yes. Or at least one of them. Coolio. You need to die. Now this is the scary part. Can I get rid of that buff before he takes a turn? Probably not. Oh, he didn't fear either. Oh, well. I guess what someone's going to get Bayuko. It's alright, though. Easy peasy. I won a quick coaching session from HH on the stream a while ago. Asked for help on 3v3. All he did was roast my teeth. Did he really? It's not like him. The problem, I think, a little bit with the arena meta is it's dramatically changed since the like the days of blessings. Oh, one of them resisted. I'll just try and smash him. Oh, he's got reaction. This sucks. Ah, right. That makes sense. We should be good. Fenax AoE. Pretty good, right? What else have we got? Is there any more hegemons? There's a hegemon. That looks like an interesting team. Someone's been grinding their Ruarks and stuff. Look at this. Lonatharil. All right. I feel like I'm going to get absolutely destroyed by this, by the way. Use the arrows. I know. Stop. It'll take me a while. It'll take me a while to get used to it. Here we go. This is what I thought I was going to face. The thing is, though, RNG is going to be my favorite every so often. And then I'm going to revive. So I'm going to get provoked, which is going to be an absolute pain in the backside. So I need to kill him kind of quickly. Actually, I might lose to this anger. Oh, look at that. We RNG'd. Cleansing accessory. Oh, come on. Right. We healed up again. This is looking a bit shaky. I don't know if he can just kill him. He probably can. Oh, he can't. That's a tanky Angar, that. This is the thing. Everyone says Angar's terrible. If he gets going like this, he ain't terrible. Angar's winning this, basically. That's why speed teams are dead, by the way. Okay. Will the Aileel ever get a turn? No, he won't. The Aileel's down. Well. These are actually well-built teams. This... Oh, look at that. I don't think I've got enough to kill anyone. I have to kill this Uko. Otherwise, Uko is going to take over. I think I've lost this, actually. Polymorph. The ironic thing here is that his Ruark is like... Actually, I've just realized how this team is built. It's genius. So he's got a 4-star Ruark, right? And he's put Polymorph on it. The Ruark is going to taunt, so you're maximizing your Polymorph potential because I can't do anything other than attack him. So if I debuff him, I'm polymorphing myself. It's very, very clever. I'm probably going to hex myself now, which is a nightmare. So like here, for example, if I do this, polymorph myself. It's actually desirable to do that. That Lorna Tharl just one-shot me. What the hell? I have to kill this Uko. If I can kill the Uko, we win this. It's the taunt, I think, MM0. I think it's because he's got a... I think it's because he's got a 5-star Ruark. He's basically using Polymorph with the taunt. Right, Uko's dead. That's important. Now, we probably have... Why have I lost so much max HP? That Lorna Tharl took out a lot of max HP. He's got a hell of a lot of... That's a full damage Lorna Tharl. I don't know why he's using Lorna Tharl in this team. It's very strange. Yeah, exactly. Because he's got a high awakening polymorph. He's basically created the taunt, so I have to use my abilities on him. He's dead now, though. So it's a stall team more than a winning team because effectively he hasn't got a DPS that can win. My Candrathon is eventually just going to overcome him. But this is the downside a little bit to Polymorph is... Look at that damage there. Whew. He would have actually taken out my Romantu, but because I used... because I used him and I got him polymorphed, I got him killed so that I got him polymorphed so he wouldn't die. So you can use polymorph to your advantage to keep your champions alive. It's a clever team because you can see, yeah, he's got a 4-star or 5-star polymorph. You put your taunt up, and then you have to use your abilities on him, which are probably going to mean you're going to polymorph yourself. It's clever. It's a well-built team, whoever TV is. Very well done. And using champions that are not very meta-defining in terms of Ruark and Lorna Tharl and Angar, right? But the Angar won that. I would say the more traditional meta team was really easy to beat. This team here, that's got a Necra, a Hegemon, a Cardiel. These are meta champions, but the teams that didn't have the meta champions actually did more damage. So, is he a content creator? I'm not familiar. Not that I'm trying to be rude. But whether he is a content creator, then this is a shout out to TV for being very creative in finding a champion and building them in such a way that they actually caused me problems that I would never have even thought. Because that's what you'll do often in these sorts of situations. You'll go in and you'll just press auto because they're easy champions. You don't think they're that strong. They can catch you out. Exactly, MM0, yeah. I've actually got a Ruark. I've got him at 50. I have a soul on him as well. Might put polymorph on him. It's a clever idea. Yeah, that's it. So I have a Ruark. Where is he? It's down here somewhere. I'm pretty sure I've got a soul on my Ruark. Maybe I don't. I thought I did. Maybe I don't. I do have it for Temesia, actually. So when Temesia gets built up, I got a 1-star soul for Temesia. Yeah, I thought I had him ascended, but I don't. So I don't have that. But yes, you basically get a transfer of all debuffs and a heal. You get a decreased attack and you can steal continuous heals to keep yourself alive. And then this taunt. I actually thought it'd be quite interesting to see if... I actually thought it'd be quite interesting to see if you can use this as like a blood shield style thing into the Scarab. Yeah, this is King Galkaba. It's the other one. I don't have him. I do have a lot of souls, guys. I know. I should probably get rid of the tree fella. I'm just annoyed that I got a 6-star tree fella. I got 2 man-eaters. I got a seize. I got a Fulgur. I was entertaining the idea of using Fulgur with a 5-star for my summons. Because she's actually quite good. Because she buffs herself here. Kill everyone, and then you get a 100% turn meter drop. I was thinking of using her in Dark Fae. So I don't know, I might do that. But yeah, Ruark I think could be quite interesting purely because of his passive, which basically allows you to get a shield every single time they take a hit, right? So technically, as long as you can keep the shield up, it's like a blood shield. So you can get away with not having blood shield for things like the Scarab or something like that. Not that I think that's necessarily an important meta thing now, because most people will have an Urost, but still, it could be good. And this taunt was actually really cleverly done by that guy. Taunt with Polymorph is a great idea. Cunning. Where am I with the champion training? I'm pretty much done with it. We'll get the rest of it done tomorrow, probably, if I have time. But tomorrow's going to be a busy day. The good thing is we've cleared up some inventory space, because that was the other thing I had a problem with. I haven't had any inventory space for weeks. Because I've been full of champions or rank 3s I don't want to get rid of. We're okay on the gear cleanse. Look, we've only got 40. And technically, that 40 can be pulled into my thing. Look, I got space. I've actually got space in my account. I have space. It's crazy. But then I have done like 2 gear cleanses pretty like religiously back to back. So that's pretty good, right? Do you think 30 Ancient, 7 Void, and 6 Sacred is enough for the fusion? I think the 6 Sacreds will be probably enough for the summon rush. I think 30 Ancients, depending if you get lucky, will be enough for the chase. See how you get on tomorrow with 30 Ancients, basically. That's the telling point. If you can get all the chase, 6 Sacreds will probably get you all the summon fragments. You know. So. 9, actually, Robo, because I just sold a piece. So, guys, I'm going to bring it an end there because I've got to get back to doing some more coding. And it's pretty late, so it's going to be a late one for me tonight, probably. But tomorrow, we start the free-to-play. If I'm not up too late, I might stream in the morning. The account creation for a couple of hours. We'll see what happens. Maybe Fiction will jump on stream with me or something. If he's making it, if he's not too busy. We'll see what happens. I won't have hiccups by then, so I won't be rude hiccuping on the mic all the time. So, yeah. It's always disappointing looking at your soul merchant every night now. Because I'll look at this and I'll go, I just can't buy anything. None of it. I was tempted by this, I just don't want to spend them. So, But yeah, so keep an eye on Twitter. Check the free-to-play guide on the website. If you want to follow me on Twitter, I will tweet there if I'm going live, and obviously it'll get announced in the Discord as well. We'll be doing some videos tomorrow as well on the free-to-play. Oh, the one thing I wanted to say, guys. I was going to say this earlier when we were talking about philosophy. So I booked my graduation ceremony on Monday. I couldn't do it for my undergraduate degree because of COVID, right? So I passed my undergraduate degree in, I think, 2020. And then obviously COVID happened, so I couldn't go to my undergraduate degree graduation. So I thought, for the masters, once in a lifetime, we'll go to the undergraduate degree. They're not doing an undergraduate degree ceremony in Wales until like November. So I didn't want to wait that long. So we're going down to London for the day, for the weekend, I should say, to go get it, to do the whole walking across the stage thing. And you get these things called like a hood, right? This thing here, I don't know if I can show this on camera. This thing is like a hood. It's got like a different color. Anyone who's done a graduation ceremony knows. You walk across and you kind of like have this hood on you. Have a guess how much you think this costs to get. This little bit of ribbon, a bit of material, right? You can see how, there it is. It's like a cloth material thing. It's like a sash. Have a guess how much you think that cost. I rented the gown. Cool. But my mum was like, oh, you know, you should buy the hood because it's a memory thing. I was like, fine, okay, whatever. I hired the gown, but I bought the hood. £75. And I had to pay £7 delivery. I couldn't even, like, the ceremony's in 3 months. But I had to pay £7 delivery as well. Mental. It's like, basically, like a year, the way that it cost me, it was like about £1,000. I think it was about £1,200 for the first year's tuition fee, right? So far, just to go and get my graduation, I've probably spent near a third of that between hotels. Even if you wanted to rent the thing, it's still like 30 quid, and the gown is like 40 quid. Photos are like £60 because apparently that's the way they structure it. I paid for like digital photos because, like, if you're going to get your photos taken, I'm taking my mum down with me. We're going to get the photo and everything. You'd think getting digital photos in like 2023 would be quite cheap. They want to charge you £20 to put it on a memory stick. 12 pictures on a memory stick. I paid for it because I'm never going to do this again, probably. So I was like, but I'm still sitting there thinking, are you serious? Like £20 to put pictures on a memory stick? Like, come on. But that's what you charge you. So you add that on top. It's crazy. You know, we got a hotel near London for like, I think for 2 nights. It's about £200 in total, which is pretty good going. But, you know, as soon as we're going down to London, we're going to go watch, we're going to go to the West End, go watch a show. So it should be a good event. So that's going to happen in March. Keep an eye out. That'll be fun. It was shocking me how much money all these things, like the cost to walk across the stage for 5 minutes is about a half it cost me to do an entire year's graduation, like an entire year's of tuition. It's crazy. So the ceremony's in the Barbican, in the Barbican Theatre, I think. So we've booked a hotel in Uxbridge. Because I can drive down, come off the M25, so I don't have to go into London, and there's the underground right next to Uxbridge, and you can go straight in, so it's much easier. It's crazy, right? Of all the costs and everything, it takes about an hour to get from Uxbridge to Barbican, and that's priced at around about £3.50 on the underground. Crazy. So, you're in the West End this week. Cool. I'm going to go see Les Mis. I've seen, like, The Lion King, but I haven't actually been to a West End show in, like, I don't know, 15 years. And I've never seen Les Mis live, so we're going to go watch Les Miserables in the Sondheim Theatre. So, you know. Yeah, it's the extra added cost, isn't it, Smurf, they catch you with? So, I'm going to be in the 1 degree Bertha Tidville. It's funny, I did ask them, could I go and get my undergraduate degree at the same time? Because it's in the same institution. They're like, oh no, you can only do one. So... You can ask me something, fam. You can definitely ask me something. I don't know if I'll have the answer, but I'll try. Yes, exactly, Kessel. The West End is Broadway for for London. So in the West End is where all the big shows are. I think at the moment mainly they have things like Lion King. They have Les Mis. They have Hamilton, I think, is on at the moment. Not too sure. Yeah, because that's the thing, right? Because I've got an undergraduate and I'm going, this time I'm getting a master's, the hood that you get is different for each qualification. So I'd have to buy or rent a different hood. Because my mum qualified, she got her undergraduate degree and she's like, oh, you could just borrow mine. I was like, it's a different one, it's a different colour. Totally. So, but yeah, it should be good. Like, I haven't been to see Les Mis. So I'm going to go down there with my mum. We're going to travel down the day before so we don't have to stress about it. Walk across the stage, then go watch Les Mis and make a weekend of it. You only do it once in your life, right? Even though it's costs like silly amounts of money. Like, as you said, like you could buy a memory stick for £3 and then just stick it on. And the funny thing about the memory stick is because they do these photographs all the time, because they've got a partnership with all the different graduation ceremonies, they could buy these memory sticks in bulk at cut price. And all they have to do is stick a picture on like the memory stick. That's just atrocious pricing. So I think the last musical I went and saw was Lion King back when I was like 20 or something. So it was like 10, 15 years ago. A while ago. Very long time ago. What was your question, fam? Because we're about to go. There we go. Put skill on cooldown. Make one of the enemy skills in full cooldown. Yeah, when it says put a skill on cooldown, it's either going to tell you how long it puts it on for, or it's going to tell you it just puts it on cooldown. So when we're talking about Warlord's ability, has a 70% chance to put each target skill on cooldown. That means if the cooldown is 4 turn, it goes on for a 4 turn cooldown. If it's 3 turn, it goes on a 3 turn. If it's a 5 turn, 5 turn. Versus someone like a Warlord, not a Warlord, a Basher. A Basher specifically says for 2 turns. So if there is a skill with a 4 turn cooldown, it only goes on cooldown for 2 turns. So if it doesn't mention a turn count, it fully puts it on cooldown for the skill. If it mentions a turn count, it puts it on for what it says. Bonus point for deciphering Sinesia's cooldown skill. 2 turns, isn't it? No, it's full cooldown. Puts the target skill on cooldown. Because Mortu's Peril is not an active skill, Genes. It's a passive hidden. It's a secret skill. It's not even a passive, cool. It's a secret skill. You were thinking about Ursine Ironhide's passive. Let's have a look at him. He's a lizard man? Or is he a skinwalker? Each head is 50 times 50 degrees in target's term. Each head is one of the targets on cooldown if the target. Yes, so it should put it on full cooldown. Just check the game code to be accurate. Because, you know, we like to be specific with these things. What up, cat? Someone just woke up. Okay. Ursine Brutality. Why am I not finding Ursine's ability here? Ursine Ironhide. Shroud of Wind. Why am I being... Oh, I'm looking at the wrong one. I'm looking at the Frost Bear. Too many of the bears. Yeah, it puts it fully on cooldown. So if it says that Earth Sign Brutality, fam, it puts it fully on cooldown if it triggers. Yeah, full cooldown. Yes, Mortal is the worst. Do you know what the worst thing about Mortal is, Jeans, though? It's not that he does peril. It's that whenever you want to use Mortal, he never activates his peril. But whenever you want the enemy not to use peril, it always activates peril. It's like fear, right? Whenever your fear goes off, it never procs. Whenever the enemy fears goes off, every single time it procs. It's annoying. It's so annoying. Yeah, that's the thing. Mortu's ability is a secret skill. So the passive Rhonda does, Jonathan. Block passive skills will deny his peril from unlocking, but if it's already unlocked, you can't use active or passive to stop it. But you have to basically ensure that the block passive skills is up so that his passive can't unlock the skill. So that's the thing, right? And the other thing with the Mortu passive is you never know which part is activating because each part is independent. You have a 20% chance to unlock or 20% chance to fill. They're not dependent. They're independent. So you can see the text come up and think, oh my god, it's coming. And actually all you're getting is 20% turn meter. I feel like to some extent, it shouldn't be independent rolls. It should be like one roll. Because when you use him, sometimes it's so infuriating if nobody wants to attack him. He's also HP based, which means generally the AI auto-targeting, unless it's strong affinity, won't attack him. So it's actually quite difficult to activate him. I don't really understand why he's so meta at the moment, because the problems he had before, the same problems. I think the difference is with Stone Skin and Reaction and Polymorph, you can just keep him alive longer so you can activate it maybe. But it's just a nightmare to activate. Like, I've tried to use him on offense and defense multiple times, and I just find him so inconsistent. Now I just use him to scare people away. So, yeah, I've questioned my sanity on fear many a time, Jeans. It says 50%, it never feels like it's 50%. So, yeah, I'm going to head off now, guys. So, no, it's not the case, Wicked. It's independent. So, sometimes he will just get turn meter. Sometimes he will get the peril. Sometimes he won't get... Sometimes he'll get peril without the turn meter. It's dumb. But anyway, guys. Sorry for the late stream. It's going to be... I might stream it tomorrow. We'll see how it goes. I've got a bit of work to do before I go to sleep. So, these damn hiccups. Hopefully I'll be hiccup free by tomorrow. And then we're going to see how far we can get in 24 hours. Thanks for hanging out. And I'll catch you soon.